Sometimes people ask me questions on Twitter. I have not started an official hashtag yet, but I thought we should answer a few questions at least. One of which comes from Julian Burke, who asks, do opposites attract? Hashtag relationships. I hope that's an actual question and not the beginning of a pickup line. So
why can't it be both?
I think no. I think people want someone who is essentially themselves. So I saw a recent article that was examining online daters, and specifically on this one site, I believe it was OkCupid. They found that people would say they're open to all kinds of different people with interests, races, religions, etc. But when it came down to it, they picked someone who was very close to themselves, their own personality, their own characteristics, even.
Yeah, I think especially, so we're in the context of a show about, kind of nerdy things. We have a particular set of interests. I mean, not all nerds are the same. Some are into LARPing, some are into anime. Like, those are so very different things.
And a lot of different temperaments across the board, too.
Yeah, but, like, I think that, so I grew up nerdy, or whatever. Like, there were lots of girls that we didn't have a chance with, that weren't going to be interested in what I was interested in. And so it's all well and good as you're growing up to think, well, man, I wish I could have those people.
Oh, boy.
Exactly, but in terms of, if you're talking about opposites being that they are into different things, they roll with different circles, they like different music or different movies, like, why would you want to be with someone that's not going to appreciate the things you like and you're not going to like what they like? I think that there can be opposite characteristics in terms of maybe you want someone who's more gregarious than you or something like that.
That's what I was about to say.
Totally different? No, I think that can be interesting, but at the same time, like, if you like sitting on your couch watching Netflix, you want to be with someone who likes sitting on the couch watching Netflix. If you like, going out and hunting men on an island, you want someone who does that.
I was dating a fitness fanatic for a while, and it didn't go very well.
No, I can't imagine that going very well.
Because I don't like going outside.
I'm scared of my abs, and so I hide them. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that you can like something somewhat different, but I think that opposite, no, I don't think that generally that attracts.
I think you want someone who compliments you. You want MC Scat Cat, like Paul Abdul does. I think what you should, or at least what I'm looking for, would be someone who's complimentary as opposed to opposite. So there are certain things that I'm terrible at that I could be made to be a better person if I were to be more well-rounded in certain ways. So I would want someone who's probably more confident and gregarious, someone who's better at finances, because I am hopeless.
She means rich. She means rich.
No, I mean like how to do your taxes, because I am confused.
Yeah, those sorts of things could be fine, but I think like to say like in terms of religion or something like that, I think generally people want people who have similar positions on the biggest issues like ethics and stuff like that. People who are generally the same.
If you're very liberal and you're with someone who's very conservative, I can see it failing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and maybe you could say, well, we just don't talk about that sort of thing. Well, then
it's going to happen.
Yeah, first of all, it is probably going to happen, but also then it's not that you're attracted to opposites, you're just canceling out that variable altogether. So that's just our opinions. I'm sure there are people who are with people who are very different. I just think in general that's probably not the case.
My parents are very different, but do I think they're an ideal couple? Next question! He's just named Andrew. Asks, being gamers, to both of us. This will probably make you guys sad too. Wish more would boycott EA to death.
Yeah, so this is basically in response to EA.
It's a link to an article about EA closing Maxis. Maxis, of course, made the SimCity games, The Sims. I was about to say The Sims, and then I said The Sims. It didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
So they made sim games like that, and then of course for a while we had games like Spore, which didn't do so well.
I was excited for that before it came out.
So how do you feel about this? Because from what I hear about Maxis standing before EA came in and like took them over, is that they were on the verge of collapse to begin with.
Yeah, well, they got in a lot of trouble.
Essentially, like, kept them from closing at that time.
I'm sad on some level as a gamer because it is a studio that's put out a lot of extremely influential big titles over the course of the past 25 years or so, but I haven't regularly played one since SimCity back in the mid-90s, I think. Like, I was never a Sims player. I tried it briefly, and I
loved it for a while.
It didn't feel like a game to me.
It's more like,
I don't know.
Honestly, I would equate it to digitally playing with dolls.
Yeah. I'd rather just really play with dolls, so I do that instead. So for historic sake, I'm sad that they're closing down, but it doesn't actually affect me as a gamer.
Well,
and I know that people were really pissed off about their always online requirement for the past.
That's EA. So we wonder.
No, I'm not saying it's their fault, but I'm saying that already there was a bit of a bad affect towards them. Perhaps also because of EA being a bad company.
I mean, EA has done some shitty things.
Some, yes.
Some very shitty things.
It's got some issues.
But, I mean, if it's true about Maxis being on the verge of collapse when they bought them, they essentially made it so those games that could be produced after that time were produced. Granted, they had a lot of constraints on them that people did not like, and they would have not been in the exact spirit of if Maxis were in control to begin with.
Yeah.
I have a very complicated feeling about EA because, on one hand, I hate their practices. I think they treat customers badly. I think they treat their employees badly. I think they do bad things to the gaming industry in general in terms of setting precedents. And the other hand is I fucking love BioWare. I love everything they make. It's just they're my favorite games. And it's like, would these games get made if they didn't have this, powerhouse publisher behind them?
Somebody would front. I mean, they make popular series. People want to play their games. Somebody would back them, I assume. I don't know.
BioWare gets me. EA does not get me. It's like I'm Romeo, and they're Juliet, and EA is the Capulets, and
they've set up a conversation system where if you do it right, you can have sex with them.
Yeah.
Or with some of the same sex. That's BioWare.
BioWare's awesome.
They're awesome.
They get me. I love them. But it's just like I have this intense hatred also.
I feel bad that some Maxis employees started watching. It's like, oh, look, they're mourning us. Oh, hey, BioWare's going to be fine. Talk about me.
I like you too, Maxis.
Yeah,
the
you're
Spore
great.
was a little weird. I don't
kid.
know how much of that was your fault.
Yeah.
The new SimCity...
I didn't play
a lot of it was, I would say a lot of it would be EA's fault. It sounds like. I don't know. I'm not there.
Look,
I'm not in those meetings.
I think the players just moved on genre-wise from it. That's not the sort of game that people want to play. Like, they play other games now.
There are city simulation games out on Steam that you could find that are probably closer to what you would desire out of a SimCity than what was actually delivered.
That's probably the case, yeah.
I think that's definitely true, and I think I can find one as soon as we stop doing this video. For sure. So, how do we feel about this in general? I mean,
I'm sorry for the employees.
I feel complicated about it,
Yeah.
and I do feel bad for the studio, Maxis, and I do want everything for BioWare, the studio, on that note.
Yeah, hopefully they won't be closed down.
Yeah. Okay, one last question comes from your mama. That is his name.
You didn't even know she was a gamer, but yeah, she games.
And your mama asks, I'm looking for a new PC game. Do you do PC games, and if so, any suggestions? Unfortunately, I am not in the master race, and I'm not as good as you, and I should probably just go kill myself because I have a console, according to the comments.
Well, don't worry, I am in the master race, but I don't play PC games.
Yes, you do.
That's a joke. Anyway, yes, I do play PC games. In fact, that's the only games that I play these days, actually. I don't use consoles lately. I'm totally into PC.
You're not garbage like me, then.
Exactly. Yeah, go play your garbage box. But anyway, yes, I do play PC games.
Garbage station. Thank you.
That both. So I would say when this question was originally asked on Twitter, I suggested Shadow of Mordor, which I still think is, if you haven't played it, it's a great game. One of the best games of last year.
That's also a console game, just FYI.
That's true,
it's not exclusively to the PC.
But you should play it on PC because the graphics will be better. So I would do that, and so I play League of Legends a lot, which you either like MOBAs or you don't. And if you like MOBAs, you will probably like League of Legends. I understand that people have concerns about the community. That's why I don't play with random people.
You know what I would say is, if you can get a beta code, Heroes of the Storm has a much easier learning curve for if you're getting into MOBAs, and the community in general has been a lot kinder.
Yeah, but it's new. I would say give it enough time and we'll see about that.
But let's say, get in the golden period now, and then later you can just say, I liked that game before those people got there.
Yeah, look, Heroes of the Storm is perfectly fine. I like it too. I just already have so much invested in League of Legends.
I have played Heroes of the Storm. Yeah. So maybe I am a little bit of a PC gamer.
That's true. Yeah, so that game is perfectly fine. I like that. And I'm pretty sure it's on Mac as well, if that's what you play.
It is.
But let's see. I also am playing Star Conflict. If you like casual space sims, that's not bad.
Filthy casual.
By the way, it's not just all AAAs too. If you there are so many good little indie games like FTL is really cool. That came out a couple of years ago, but it's still awesome if you like sort of very light RPG-esque rogue-like space games. That was very good.
Rogue Legacy, which is available.
Rogue Legacy is good too.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, and a lot of these are also very cheap, by the way. And one of the cool things about playing games on Steam is or on PC is you have access to Steam, where they have the huge sales and everything. So those are some of the games that I've played recently. The problem with playing games like League of Legends is it really does soak up all of your gaming time, and you don't necessarily have as much time to experiment as you might like.
It's a lot. I mean, I remember sinking 40 minutes into a game, and we were losing, and it was just miserable.
That happens too. Yeah. So those are my suggestions, I guess.
So when it's good, and when it's bad, it's real bad. I started playing Ori and the Blind Forest, which is available on PC and Xbox One.
I've heard good things about it.
Very hard.
Yeah, I hear you die hundreds and hundreds of times.
I've died so many times.
It's like Meat Boy.
I actually got really mad about that because I was playing at a release party for it.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're just raging.
And I was like, oh, and this guy was like, "You're not a gamer, right?" And I was like,
"Ooh,
I will choke you."
Yeah.
It's hard, okay?
His wake is going to be this weekend if you'd like to
It's a side-scroller, platformer type deal. That's not my thing. And he's like, "What kind of games do you play?"
You not play Sonic growing up?
I said something kind of mean because he was someone who's somewhat connected peripherally to the game. So I don't want to say who he was, and I don't want to say what I said, but it was cutting.
But anyway, the game is supposed to be good, and it's supposed to be very beautiful if you're into that sort of thing. Like I grew up on stuff like Sonic, so
it does look beautiful. It has that fun kind of unlocking the area type thing. It's like Mega Man, where when you start out, you suck, and you get abilities as you move on.
It's very like Metroid-esque in terms of unlocking movement abilities that allow you to go back to areas that you previously hadn't been able to access.
And it's based on, you were talking about your hobby of game designing. It's based on an engine that you have a lot of.
Yeah, the Unity engine, which a lot of big games are coming out on.
Yeah.
Or from, I guess.
It's an example of how lovely it can be. How lovely can you be, audience? Good segue, huh? Let us know below in the comments. And what should we name this segment? I don't know. I'll take your ideas also in the comments. And please be sure to subscribe for more.